when we think about this idea that the stories we hear, or the stories, the explanations, the economic theories we're told should be true, don't really explain the reality we live in. It really made me think about this book by a philosopher named Thomas Kuhn. What's it called? This Theory of Scientific Revolutions, I think. And he talks about how um, changes happen in scientific theory. And his idea is that for the longest time, the explanations scientists have, or social scientists have, fit a particular paradigm. There's foundational ideas that underpin how they explain the world around them, and the explanations and solutions that they use to describe the world around them. But over time, anomalies start to build up that they can't explain. And at the beginning, they just dismiss them, they kind of ignore them. But then the anomalies become so significant that the world we live in can't be explained by those old ideas. And you enter a new paradigm that describes the world we live in. And I think this is the foundational idea that I think everyone needs to understand. And to keep it simply, I'll try to explain what I mean by this whole idea of a paradigm shift. 40, 50 years ago, the people buying homes were families. That's it. It was shelter almost like entirely. There is a natural anchor to how high home prices go. And that anchor was income. And of course, credit, but credit wasn't widely available after World War II. Getting financing was a lot harder. So the main anchor were incomes. So home prices really couldn't skyrocket too much. Well, now suppose that the main buyers of homes in a particular country are not just families anymore, that you just open it up to the whole world and say, you know what? Come over, park your cash, buy up some houses, and global capital can flow in. Well, all of a sudden, you start changing the role that housing plays. Well, what happens now if you say, you know what? You can buy homes and convert them into mini hotel rooms and rent them out by the night and pay residential taxes, not commercial taxes, then the role that homes play in our society changes because how you value them is different. Household values it based on what they can afford on their income. The person buying it and converting it to a hotel values it completely differently. If they can make a heck ton of money, they can maybe justify spending way more than that family or that individual person who wants to buy that property, right? And now if you change it even further and say, well, Wall Street, Bay Street firms can raise hundreds of millions of dollars and use sophisticated algorithms to cherry pick the nicest homes as soon as they hit the market based on their own methodologies, you again change the role that homes play in our society, right? And I think this is the most important thing. The role that homes play in our society is completely different today. The old rules don't apply. Homes are not constrained by wages. They're driven by capital. Okay. And that is a fundamental shift. And most housing economists or experts and most politicians are kind of ignoring that. Like it's kind of irrelevant. It's really the gatekeepers in the cities that are restricting supply. And I don't believe that theory. Again, I prosecuted it, and it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So I think the key thing, at least from my perspective, that I think people need to understand is that the world we live in today has nothing to do in terms of housing with 30, 40, 50 years ago. The role that home plays in our society is very different. And I think that's the most important thing people need to understand.